Hey guys, today we're doing a review on the SPB5ECO, a 5-way slave master powerboard. So here's what it looks like. You have one switched input, which we'll explain shortly, master, and then you've got slave outputs which sit off the master. So in this video I'm just going to explain why you'd buy this kind of powerboard. We're going to explain some of these extra features, and then we're going to have a look inside the powerboard and find out about its construction. So first of all, why would you buy this powerboard? The two main reasons are for people who use them for TVs. So in general you'll have, say, your TV plugged into this master, and then the slaves are going to be things like your DVD player, your Blu-ray, maybe you've got an IR system, or a PlayStation sitting on the slaves. So most people, first thing they do is they turn on their TV, and as soon as they turn that on, it'll activate these outputs to turn on. So the TV turns on, these ones become active, and what that means is that while the Blu-ray is not being used, you're not going to be paying for that standby power on those devices. So environmentally good. You have this other output here called a switched output, and that's for things, say, like your Foxtel or your TiVo or a PVR of some kind, where you need it to be working independent of the TV. So the Foxtel may be scheduled to record a program at 2 AM in the morning. You're not going to be watching TV then, so you've got to have it on its own independent output. So the master output in that configuration is a TV, slave might be Blu-ray, DVD, PlayStation, and the switched output might be a Foxtel. Now people also use these with their PCs. So in general, the configuration that they'll have is they'll have the master output for the PC, and then these slave outputs are going to be things like the monitor, a printer, and PC speakers. They may be the 3 slave outputs. So you turn on your PC and everything becomes active. So you're not wasting money on the monitor being in standby. It also protects these appliances, which is also a feature that people don't talk about enough. So if you get a big surge of power, these things, it's the same as them being completely switched off. So it's much safer than any standard surge protected powerboard. So you might have a PC, monitor, printer, PC speakers, and the switched output might be something like a modem router, where irrespective of the PC being on, you want the modem router to be on. So this powerboard in this configuration, being a 5 output, actually makes a lot of sense. I've got one at home that I use. You might also have other applications. In my case, I've got a TV, and then the equipment down below, when they're in standby mode, they emit like a blue or green light, which is annoying being in the bedroom. So in order for the TV, if the TV's off, these other devices are completely off. So my bedroom is dark when the TV's off. So those annoying standby LED lights disappear, obviously. So this configuration makes a lot of sense. One of the first things that I thought about before getting this powerboard is the government. The government gives away a lot of powerboards, and I was one of many people that received a powerboard for free. In my particular case, that powerboard didn't make any sense whatsoever. First of all, it was a really large powerboard. Second, it had an IR sensor, which I have no use for. I like my equipment to be discreetly tucked away. They want you to have a gigantic IR sensor. So in that particular case, I thought it was quite unsightly. It was also complicated. This one is super easy. You just plug it in and these become active. Yeah, so for me, the basics of that make a lot of sense. How much money you save? I mean, it really varies. I heard a figure that a PS4 for a whole year would use something like 5.5 watts. That is apparently $8.67 per year based on 18 cents per kilowatt hour or something or rather. So there's meant to be some kind of monetary saving, but that wasn't a real motivation for me buying this product. Now, let's go into the extra features. So we've got 2 USB outputs, which that's used for plugging into all kinds of devices. You might use it for a Google Chrome. You can use it to charge your phone. Really, whatever device. The thing to remember is the limit is 1 amp. So for a big device like a tablet will tend to consume or draw about 2 amps of power. So there'll be some devices where this power source will not be strong enough for it. But certainly handy for your phones and your other peripherals on, say, a computer or a TV. So that provides power up to 1 amp. The other thing is these outputs. When you have a look at the packaging, like all brands, this DOS product, they talk about, see here, smoothing out power surges, providing clean power. Really, all that they do, and we'll investigate it further, is they provide an earth connection. So, you know, those residual voltages are dissipated through here. But we'll discuss, that's making more and more sense. Sorry, that's making more and more sense as time goes on. And the final extra feature is the reset button, and we'll explain that soon. All right. Now let's have a look at the product. I've ripped one of these apart and we had a look at the construction. So here goes. The first thing is power lead. We're going to be interested in a few things here. First thing is around those little, around the pins, you have PE. So they haven't gone the dodgy PVC the whole way around. PE is actually more safe, so it's good that they spent the money there. The other thing that you'll notice is that you've got your approval number, your N number there, so we know it's an approved product. And we snipped the edges here, and we had a look at the conductors, and we've got pure copper conductors, which is good. And in Australia, all devices must have these insulated pins, these little bits of black. You must have that, especially if you've got, say, kids. As they pull the plug out of the wall, a kid can get contact with these 2 pins. Maybe they've got a knife or something and they might zap themselves. In the case of this product, it's an insulated pin, so it is, it's meeting regulations and it's safer. Now when we have a look at the board, apologise for the appearance, I have been playing with this. There's a few things. First of all, you've got this TV, where your TV signal loops through this thing, and as you see, all it is an earthing point. But that makes a lot of sense. A lot of TVs, they'll come with a 2-pin connection, so it might be, you know, like this, a figure 8 plug, or it might be even a DC, might even be a DC plug like this. So when you don't have an earth connection, you can get a voltage build-up, and that's bad for your TV signal. So if it's a case of a 2-pin connection, or if you're in doubt, loop it through here and you get rid of that voltage, and that will fix up certain TV issues also. Same goes for these the phone jacks. Yeah, I wouldn't believe all of the marketing, but you can certainly see that it is connected to the grounding. So again, with the phone, make sure that you're looping through there, and that would be good. Now we've got this USB charger thing. If we have a look at the back here, what we actually have is a miniature switch mode power supply. So that one is going to be providing 1 amp of current on each of those, which is fine. There's no earthing on the 5-volt power supplies. Now when we have a look at the guts of it, you'll first of all notice that we've got all our earthing is correct, back to our earthing point. And this is our circuit board. Of interest, you've got these 2 varistors here, which if you want to have a look at, if you really want to have a look at the model numbers, I think the model number according to that is 20S471X3. So you can actually Google that and it appears, and all it's going to say is it's a 3-output varistor. So that's the thing that's going to be doing your surge protection here. So good to see 2 good quality varistors. Yeah, the other thing to note is this circuit breaker. So all that this is going to do is, if you overload, you've got too many devices, it's drawing too much current, and it kills itself. You can disconnect all your devices, hit the reset switch, and off we go. It's just like in your household when your circuit breaker, if you overload a circuit in your home, you can reset a circuit breaker once the problem's been fixed, obviously. So yeah, there we go. The other last point obviously is a switch, which is handy if you're going away on holidays. Obviously hit the switch, and not only are you saving money on power, but you're also protecting your devices. If you've got any further questions, feel free to post a comment.